Thanks so much for joining me here on Wave Now. I'm Myra Ansari. I hope that you're having a good day so far. All right, so we get phone calls into our newsroom all the time about people who fall victim to scams, and they want to tell other people about it because they don't want others to do the same thing. So there's been a lot of recent things going on, and that's why we are teaming up with the Better Business Bureau today. Whitney Atkins is joining me live now. So Whitney, a lot of things are happening scam wise. And when I noticed the information that you shared, they seem to be coming through social media.
It's true. We've definitely seen a rise in social media scams. And this past month, especially, I don't know what it was, Myra, but we saw a lot of reported scams come in that originated on Facebook, on other social media platforms. So it's definitely an area where we want consumers to be cautious.
So, a lot of times things sound really real. And when scammers want to take advantage of you, they are extremely convincing. Talk to me about some scams that are floating around right now via social media, Facebook in particular.
Sure. So one in particular that was submitted to us just a few weeks ago involved someone. It actually involved a victim and her daughter. Her daughter was having some trouble with her Facebook account. For one, I think it had been suspended or something. So she was trying to reach out to what she thought was Facebook customer service, and she did so by Googling, and she called this number that came up. It turned out to be a scam. You know, the scammer, in talking with the daughter, was able to get access to, I think, the login for one of her payment apps that she uses, all under the guise of, "I'm going to help you restore access to your account." And this is a newer one that I've seen, or that we've seen at BBB, but it's not the first phony customer service scam that we've seen tied to social media. So we just want to warn consumers, if you're struggling with something related to a social media account, make sure that you are reaching out to the proper resources. Don't just call the first number that pops up when you search, because it could be, as in this case, a scam. And like you said, these scammers are very good at sounding convincing. They're very good at sounding like actual customer service reps. But anytime someone claiming to help you with a social media issue starts asking for money, starts asking for access to your personal information, access to your computer, these are red flags that you want to disengage from that conversation immediately.
No matter how much they hound you, no matter how much they try to convince you, just shut it off, turn it off.
Shut it down. Yeah, shut it off and shut it down. Hang up, close the chat, or disengage from the text, whatever it may be, as soon as you see those red flags, because they're good at convincing folks, right? That's how they're able to trick people out of money and personal information. Unfortunately, they're good at sounding official, and if they can sort of sense that their potential victim is getting wary, they're gonna amp it up. So it's best to not keep engaging with them, because they're going to try to convince you, no, this is legitimate.
All right, talk to me about fake websites that are out there. We do online shopping, click, 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 and don't even think twice about it. This one involved Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yes, and I've actually heard a couple folks report this one, this phony Dick's Sporting Goods ad that, was for gear that the prices seemed really awesome. Seemed almost too good to be true, and these were ads that appeared, on third-party sites. So the victim clicks through to the ad. It still looks legitimate, still looks like Dick's Sporting Goods website. They purchase the item, or they think they do, and then they never received the item, and they can't, and then it's only later that they realize, oh, that wasn't a legitimate website, that was a scam website. So these scammers who create these sites, they're very good at mirroring the actual manufacturer, actual company, whatever the case may be. So we strongly suggest, I know those ads are tempting, and I'm not saying that all of them are scams, because they're not, but it's really best for your own safety, if you're shopping online, to go directly to the manufacturer or company's website. Enter dicksportinggoods.com into your Google search bar or your search bar. Make sure you're direct on their actual site as opposed to clicking on an ad that you may see on another site. I promise you, if they're running a sale, you're going to find it on their website. It's not just going to be available through that ad. That's not how they work. The legitimate companies want you to find their sales. So again, avoid those ads. If you see something that looks appealing, say you do see a Dick's Sporting Goods ad pop up on a third-party site, go, open a new tab and go to their website itself. That way you'll see if the sale is legitimate, and you'll be on their actual website so that your order is secure and you're going to get what you paid for.
Well, I know, Whitney, I'm still waiting for my dream of winning millions to come through, and I'm the lucky winner, but so many times when you find out, oh, you got that phone call like, hey, you just won $1 million, it's probably not real.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but also I want to prevent folks from being scammed. That's what I always preface this with. So I'm sorry to say, Myra, that you are not the winner of millions of dollars and the luxury car of your choice. That seems to be the favorite line of the scammers these days, who are claiming to represent, in this case, Publishers Clearinghouse, but other lotteries as well. So red flag number one is that they're calling you, because the actual Publishers Clearinghouse doesn't call their winners. They don't text their winners. They only alert them through mail, through snail mail. So if someone is calling you and telling you you've won Publishers Clearinghouse, right away it's a scam, because they do not call their winners by they don't alert them by phone call. So that's red flag number one. And again, with whether it's Publishers Clearinghouse or any other lottery that someone is claiming to represent, your next red flag is if they're asking for money up front in exchange for you receiving your winnings. Legitimate lotteries, they aren't going to do that. Now, you may have to pay taxes down the road and fees like that, but anytime you've got someone pressuring you to give what seems like a small amount of money in comparison to millions of dollars of winnings, $200, $500, if you have to pay that up front, that's another red flag that you're dealing with a scam. And I'll just add in that, while there are legitimate lotteries out there, and yes, Publishers Clearinghouse is a legitimate organization, I don't remember the exact odds, but your odds of winning are astronomical. So just based on the number of phone calls I get in my office regarding Publishers Clearinghouse, Kentucky would have to be the luckiest state in the whole country if we had that many winners.
Okay, we're just not that lucky. We know the reality. All right, so I see this all the time, and immediately I stop scrolling and stare and fall in love with that adorable face. We're talking about those puppies that pop up, that you think, I just have to have you to make my life better. Sometimes those things are scams as well.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm the same way. I'm an animal lover. I love my pets as well. So I get it. And that's why this scam in particular makes me mad, because it's playing on our emotions and our heartstrings for adorable animals, in particular puppies. And one twist we saw on it just this past month, again, involves social media. The scam originated in a Facebook group for a particular breed of dog. I want to say it was French bulldogs, but I don't quite remember. Regardless, someone joined the group thinking that they were just joining up with other folks interested in this same breed and finding this same puppy. And they actually were, in contact with the administrator of the group, who said, I'm a breeder, I can sell you this dog, and was sending them all these adorable pictures. And unfortunately, this turned out to be a scam. And once the victim caught on, then the so-called breeder blocked them, and they couldn't get in contact with them anymore. Never received their pet that they paid for. They also, kept, which is a common thread with this scam, the scammer will keep sending you more demands for money. So the day comes when you're supposed to receive this pet that you've paid for, all of a sudden now you have to pay additional fees for a shipping crate, for insurance, for whatever the case may be. They're going to keep trying to get more money out of you until you catch on that this isn't legitimate, and you're never going to receive that animal. So whenever you're purchasing a pet from a breeder or from online, number one thing that we stress is you have to see that animal in person. If that's not possible, at the very least, we want you to try to see that animal by, a video call like we're doing right now. But you want proof that that animal exists and that it is owned by the person who is claiming to sell it. So see the animal in person. Make sure you're checking the breeder's credentials and reviews and references. You can look them up on our website, bbb.org, and always pay with credit card. You follow these steps, you're going to avoid being scammed by fake breeders. And I'll just throw in, adoption is always an option as well from an accredited, trusted charity or nonprofit.
Absolutely. There's always good dogs and cats and all other sorts of animals at our local shelters that need a good home. Definitely want to tell people that as well. All right. So if you have been hurt, had a procedure, went to the hospital, medical bills, I know I get those at my home all the time. You're also getting reports of scams involving fake medical bills.
Yes, unfortunately, which can be really scary if you receive a bill for a large amount and you don't, remember why you owe this money, or it doesn't seem correct, but again, you don't want it to fall into collections or things like that. So you're sort of tricked into paying the bill just to make it go away. But unfortunately, yes, we're seeing a rise in scam medical bills that prey on that emotion of being scared, of being nervous, not wanting to hurt your finances, things like that. So if you receive a medical bill and anything about it seems off, or you don't remember why you owe it, always check with your provider first. Check with, the doctor, the hospital, your insurance company. And if there is a number, which there typically is on this bill, like a customer service number, I want you to Google that number and make sure it's actually associated with a legitimate doctor's office, hospital, or agency that works with your doctor or hospital. And then I know this can be a little bit annoying and tiresome, but taking these extra steps before paying the bill is always worthwhile. It definitely beats getting scammed out of hundreds or thousands of dollars with a fake bill. So be sure that you're checking with your doctor or hospital and your insurance company. They're going to be happy to confirm the legitimacy of the bill. They don't want you to get scammed either. And if you do owe, they want to get paid. So they're going to be happy to help you. Just, be cautious of anything you're getting in the mail that you don't recall owing, or just seems out of place.
Okay, that's a really good tip to Google the number. I had not thought about that. All right, I want to talk about two more things, Whitney. We are all looking for an easier life, right? So working from home is a great option for a lot of people. You're seeing a rise in work from home scams that people are falling for.
Yes, unfortunately. Again, this is another one, just like with the social media ones that we've seen. We've seen a steady increase, but the past couple of months or so, it seems like we're seeing even more of them reported to BBB. And these can take various forms. They all typically start with a work from home opportunity that seems legitimate, seems like a great company, but there are some red flags to watch out for if you're applying for any type of job, but especially a work from home job. Number one, always be sure that you're researching the company first, especially if this is an unsolicited offer. A lot of times we see reports from these folks who say, well, they contacted me through LinkedIn or through Indeed.com and said they found my resume and it looked great. So if you get an inquiry like that, make sure you're researching the company first. Again, you can check them on bbb.org, see any reviews we have of them, see any complaints we might have against them. You're wanting to verify that number one, this is a legitimate company. Two, watch out for any interview process that seems to go really fast and almost too well. It seems too easy. This is another red flag that they're just trying to get you hooked, to get you in. And finally, with these work from home opportunities, anytime that it culminates in them saying, okay, we're going to send you a check to pay for supplies you'll need or equipment you'll need at your home, this is another red flag. This is typically what we see as not only a work from home scam, but a check scam, because that check isn't legitimate. But once you deposit it into your bank account, you're on the hook for that money. And what typically happens is they'll send you the check and then say, "Oops, we sent you too much. Can you send some back to this account?" Or sometimes they'll say, "You need to purchase your equipment from this supplier," and the supplier is another scammer who's working in conjunction with the original scammer. So basically, anytime you've got any type of employer or alleged employer asking you to purchase equipment with a check they send you, that's a big red flag, that you want to not cash that check and walk away from this opportunity. Another common work from home scam we see a lot in this area is the reshipping scam. This involves you receiving packages at your home that you are supposed to inspect or repackage and then send along to another address that's provided to you. This is not a legitimate work from home opportunity. This is not a real job. This is a reshipping scam. What's happening is you are receiving products that are likely purchased from stolen credit cards or they're stolen goods. And when you send them out, you're just kind of muddying the waters so that the scammers can't get caught. It's harder to trace it back to the original thief or a scammer. So it's sort of adding insult to injury because you're involved in a scam when you didn't even know it. And then, the victims of this scam never get paid. That's sort of what clues them in finally that they are a part of a scam, is they never receive a paycheck. They can't get a hold of their alleged employer. So anytime you see anything that involves reshipping or receiving other people's mail at your home, do not apply for that job. You can report that job if you see it posted on a site like Indeed or LinkedIn. Report it as a fraud because it's not a legitimate opportunity.
That kind of makes my blood boil, Whitney, because, when you think, oh, they reached out to me, they saw potential in me. And, then you come to find out that you just fell for it. That just makes me so angry. And the check thing is something I'd never heard about. So I'm so glad you mentioned that. That was very eye-opening. All right. So we all want a wonderful summer vacation, right? Everybody's kind of breaking out of that pandemic shell and we're looking for great deals to travel. Don't fall victim to this because you don't want to be out of money and you don't want to be out of a vacation too.
Correct. So yes, you're right. Summer's upon us. We're getting excited. We're getting back out there. What we want to advise folks is be cautious when you're making those reservations, right? When you're booking a hotel, especially, again, just as with anything else, like we've talked about with the online shopping, et cetera, make sure that you are on that hotel's actual website. Don't click on third-party ads. Make sure you're on the actual website. And if it's a hotel that maybe it's a smaller one or kind of a boutique one that you're not familiar with, you haven't heard of before, those are certainly out there and they can be wonderful and lovely, but you want to research them first. Make sure you check them out on bbb.org just to make sure that they're a legitimate business, that they don't have a bunch of complaints against them, things like that. It never hurts to do a little bit of homework first. So again, you want to make sure you're on the actual hotel's website, that you feel comfortable booking with this hotel based on what you've read about them or researched with them, and pay with a credit card. That kind of is my common denominator advice on a lot of these scams is pay with a credit card because it is a secure form of payment. So if heaven forbid, but if you do need to dispute the charge down the road, you can do so. And it's pretty easy to do so with a credit card. If you're paying with, a prepaid Visa card or something like that, unfortunately, a lot of times once that money is spent, it's gone. So always pay with a credit card whenever possible.
Whitney, always good information. And I want to stress to folks because so many times people lose, so much money from their savings. It's heartbreaking. And more than likely, Whitney, you're not going to see your money back. Like, it's really hard sometimes to track down these scammers. They could be in other countries. Sometimes it's low on the priority list of crimes to solve. It's just really heartbreaking.
It is. It really is. And my heart goes out to the victims that I talk to, or if I read their stories when they submit them to us online on our scam tracker system. It's so hard to read because I really do feel for them. And you are absolutely right. a lot of times with these scams, not always, but a lot of times it can be really hard to get your money back, especially if you didn't pay, with a secure form of payment, or, it just depends on the scam, but it can be really difficult. So we're really trying to educate folks to watch out for those red flags ahead of time so that hopefully they're not falling victim to scammers. And I just, kind of want to stress before we go that anyone can fall victim to a scam.
I'm glad
I
you
think a
said
lot
that.
of times we assume that it's maybe people who are older than us or younger than us. We question, their background, but I'm here to tell you that I see reports coming in from all demographics. So I always tell people, I don't care how old or young you are, I don't care how educated you are or where you grew up, where you're from. You can fall victim to a scam. It can happen to any of us because they're getting better and better at what they do, unfortunately. So we all need to be vigilant and watch out for ourselves and each other.
And always share stories and advice, report it to the BBB, because at the end of the day, you don't want someone else to go through this, the pain that you're going through, the loss of money, because it's really awful when you work hard for your money and then someone decides that they're going to pick on you and you're unfortunately fall for it. Like you said, anyone can fall for a scam. To report a scam, Whitney, where do folks go?
Sure, it's super easy. Please do report it to us. Please don't be embarrassed. Like I said, it happens and we are here to help. You can report it at bbb.org through our scam tracker system. It's just a really easy way to upload all your information or as much information as you have. We do ask for some of your personal information, but we do not publish that. Your information stays safe and private. It's just if we need to contact you for more information or, if we need to reach out to help you, that's the only reason that we ask for that. But we never publish your name or your contact information. Now, if you have names tied to the scammer, sure, we're going to put them on blast, but we're not going to put your name out there. So you can feel confident that anything you report to us remains private. But when we share the information that you share with us, we do get it out there so that hopefully other folks, if they're encountering something similar, they can see first, oh, this looks like a scam.
Absolutely. Whitney, always great to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining me here on Wave Now. I'm Myra Ansari. We teamed up with Whitney Atkins from the BBB today to help keep you aware of scams that are floating around because we don't want you to fall victim to this. Whitney, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great day.